Welcome back to the Beauty Official Podcast. I'm Evan Ross Katz, podcaster and pop culture prophet, here to get my booster shot of the beauty. Joining me today are Grammy-winning, Emmy, and Golden Globe-nominated actor and singer Anthony Ramos, and Emmy, Grammy, Golden Globe, and Tony nominee actor and singer Jeremy Pope, to talk about their roles as the assassin and his beauty-transformed protege. Anthony Ramos, Jeremy Pope, thank you so much for being here. Now, it's my understanding that you two go back. You two are friends. Your relationship predates this show. Talk to me about the origin of this friendship.
What friendship?
What friendship?
Like cold.
Well, this is going to be therapy where we work through it and come back together.
You know what I mean? No, I mean, this is fam. This is...
we've been friends like 15 years?
Yeah, we went to college together. So we've known each other since 2010.
That's crazy.
We've just done so much life kind of in tandem, you know, next to each other, alongside each other, championing each other. So to now kind of arrive at this moment and be able to literally get paid to cut up with one of your good friends is
crazy.
Really, really special.
Yeah. You know, we've been homies for a long time, and we've been wanting to work together and do something for a long time. And, finally, not only do we get to work together, but we really get to like work together in this joint. You know
sure
what I'm saying?
do. Now, obviously, you've known each other for 15 years, but what was it like when you found out that you were both going to be working alongside your friend and have many scenes together?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think I had talked to Ryan, pretty early on in the process of him building this, and to hear he was like, I'm interested in Anthony Ramos. And it was like, before he even got the last name out, I was like, it's a yes. It's a hell yes. Like he's good people. He's like, that's what I want. That's what you want. And I was so grateful to hear that he was open to it. And we didn't know at the beginning how much or how involved our characters would be, on paper or on screen. So to kind of read those episodes and get further into the script and see like, actually we get to spend most of, a lot of time. I won't say most, but a lot of screen time together.
Yeah. I mean, most. Most.
Was trying to tease it,
Oh, yeah, I guess, right? Yeah, I guess you can't get none of the way.
We spent a little time.
Well, I want to find out from you both, what reaction did you have when you first found out, reading the script and saying, I'm going to delve into this and really enter this world?
I didn't read anything until after I got the job. Like Ryan just called me and told me Jeremy was in it, and I was super excited about that. And he's like, yo, you and Jeremy get to you guys got a lot of scenes together, so at least I know I'm going to have a good time doing it, And he's explaining this character to me. He's like, he's this assassin. He's 65, and, but he gets the beauty. And when he actually sent the scripts, it was interesting to kind of see how it started to unfold. And I really loved how in episode 3, a big scene in episode 3 when we're in the car and we're driving together and I'm singing the Christopher Cross song. Interestingly enough, that was the first scene we shot day one. So it was cool starting to get to know these guys and starting to dig deep. And Ryan was like, I want to be able to create a character where you can show parts of you off that you may not have had the opportunity to in the past, which is something that I really loved and I'm really grateful for. He's great at that.
For people that don't know, how atypical is that? Because I'm outside of the industry, but I imagine that's a rarity.
Yeah, I
sure.
think it is a rarity. And I think what I've learned is you find the people that you fuck with in this industry, in this business as a creative, and you want to only work with them because it can be such a beautiful experience. This is, number 3 or 4 project that I've done with Ryan, and each one has been very different. I feel like being a part of his company of, works it reminds me of like someone that understands you as a multifaceted, nuanced artist. Doesn't just say, hey, you're this and I only want you to do that. He's like, I want you to explore yourself and learn about yourself through the different characters that, are in these worlds. So when he hit me up, he was like, hey, you want to read something weird? And for Ryan to say that, you're kind of like, but isn't everything we do weird? You know what I mean? Like, that's not, you're not really saying nothing. But then when he sent it, I said, oh, this is weird. There was a darkness to this character and that I normally am not being asked to come in with. That's, to me, what my experience has been with Ryan. It's an open-ended, conversation. You just continue to create, and then you learn about yourself. And I love that as an artist, to be stretched and to be championed by someone who just is down to watch you soar, to watch you, vibrate at the highest level.
Yeah.
So you're having the conversations, you're reading the scripts. When did you start to get a sense of how physical these roles would be?
Oh man, that fight we had in the hotel room. I know, fantastic new look, but then blammo, life just comes at you real fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
I knew when they had 4 stunt doubles like on the schedule, I was like, oh, we about to be in there slanging.
Brawling.
Oh, they got us slanging in the walls. And, you know, me and Ant were like physically, we were getting our bodies into shape. And it felt like we were really making sure our bodies were able to do whatever was going to be asked of us, you know?
You had that wild transformation scene too. You had to do that mad, like a bunch of times, didn't you?
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly because, again, working with Ryan, like he follows instinct and intuition, and like if it's not right, like we're gonna get it right, you know. So I'm thinking we got these stunt doubles, like you throw me in for the close up, you know what I mean, when we're here, but like we got there and the transformation changed, and then it was just easier for me to do it. Given, you know, that I can move, I'm physical, I dance. So Ryan was interested in capturing that. I remember for the transformation, he was like, when you come out of this sack, I want to watch you basically like learn how to walk, like walking for the first time and feeling your body and the muscles for the first time. So he saw it more as like, instead of the horror of it, like let's lean into the like joy of this like ballet of this, you know, person. And it's the first transformation we see.
Yes.
So I was kind of the guinea pig as far as how much KY jelly do we use on this human to make it look slimy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like that was madness.
I wanna ask about that.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
wild.
madness.
Crazy.
It's quite something to behold. How much KY jelly was you?
Bro, I'm still taking
Never
KY
thought you was
jelly
gonna
out of
get
my
asked that
ear.
in the history of your career.
I'm still wiping that KY jelly off me, man. That shit was crazy because again, everyone's there for Ryan's vision, and he was like more. I feel like every take was like more. We want more blood. We want more KY jelly. We want more movement, and like it was a lot. And then because you're resetting, you just keep applying, and KY jelly, it dries in a very weird way. And when you mix that with, I think at one point I had like Cantu conditioner on me because that was white and it gave a texture on camera. Like that was crazy.
Crazy.
You talked about getting your bodies into shape, and obviously this show is called The Beauty. It's very much focused on aesthetics.
Right.
And did you feel an added pressure with this project around sort of getting your physical self into its best state possible? Or is that typical when you get assigned to a job?
It just depends on the job. You know, for this one, I would say that, I was like, I should probably look like I've been training a little bit.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. You know, come on. You know, and it's just trying to fit the mold of what the show is and what the world, right, tells people that what beautiful is supposed to look like, right? This person's in shape and they have this certain kind of facial structure and this. And so it's just kind of like doing whatever's in your power and whatever you have the ability to do to kind of match or try to match up to whatever your character's supposed to be, the new beautiful version of who you are. And in my case, you know, my guy 65 turns into me, but then you see, you know, he still has the eye patch and it didn't quite pan out the way he thought it would. You know, he's also a bodyguard, and then he becomes an assassin. So you gotta make sure you're physically fit to defend, but also go out and kill.
What about for you?
It was interesting because initially I was having a little trouble separating, one, the name. So a lot of times you're like, oh, this is the character I'm playing, and you can put any type of work that you build, you know, as an artist, as an actor, like you put that on the character and your way into the character. But then because the character's name was Jeremy and it felt like I was building this with Ryan, I was like, so is this a version of me? Like, you know, you were trying to figure out how much of me, you know, especially because we're doing a transformation. There's the Jeremy 1 and there's the Jeremy 2. I think I became a lot more aware of myself. And then I had to kind of talk myself through that, like in a very human way, because I think it's one thing to do a show work on a project, and if people think you're sexy, they think you're sexy. But to have a show that's kind of talking about that, exploring that thematically, you feel like now you're putting yourself on the front line to be objectified. So once we started to, get around each other and start to actually play in the world, it felt a little bit better. But I think at the beginning, there was this like, do I need to get in crazy shape? Do I need what do I need to do? Like,
what I need to do?
Yeah,
I gotta get poked a couple times.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah, it's a real thing. I like the skincare regimen I was upping it up. I became super aware of what the audience was going to be seeing.
Yeah.
I think if anything, just more like hypersensitive to the thing.
Well, that's really interesting about a project like this. And I had this reaction in watching the show of like thinking about, obviously there's the events that take place on the show, but sort of applying them to real life. Because
Right.
I'm wondering how many conversations about the themes and the events of the show did you find yourself having outside of the workplace?
I mean, I feel like it happens more and more nowadays. Like I think more than ever, really. I'm seeing homies getting Botox and they're like 25. And I'm like, yo, you good? Like, I mean, your skin look good. But they're like, you got to start early. And then like another one of my friends told me about this thing that you can get that it pumps some kind of vitamins in you that you stop getting when you're 28. But y'all know anything about this? It's just wild how much is available now.
Right.
To enhance your beauty and your health. And
When you hear stuff like that, when you hear about these like new inventions or these off-market products, does it intrigue you? Are you kind of like reticent, or what is your reaction to hearing about these, I don't know if you want to call them innovations, but I just feel like every day I wake up and there's like some new thing that someone I love is telling me about. And I'm like, I trust this person, but I'm also like, what the fuck?
I mean, I'm fully intrigued. I mean, like, when I go to the aquarium or the museum, right, I'm intrigued by the shark in there, but I ain't getting up in and, swimming with the shark, but I'm like, wow, look how crazy that shark is, but I'm definitely intrigued. Like they're pumping electricity in people's abs now, like, and apparently it's like the equivalent of 25,000 crunches or something like that,
yeah,
right?
I've heard of that.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Then there's these facials that are they're not regular facials. They do, I can't remember what.
Red light current, blue light current.
All that.
Yeah.
So
I think,
so much
I'm
available.
definitely, it is intriguing. It's intriguing to kind of see where we are culturally and socially and what is considered less taboo now. We've talked about it in different spaces, but the simple fact of braces, that's okay.
Right.
You want to fix your teeth, please do. So you can smile, and smiling means you're happy. So you can be happy.
Right.
So I think about that, to then now like, oh, I want to change my hair color or my hair cut, or now I want Botox or I want lip filler because I want my lips to do this or my nose to do that. And like, who's the judge to say what is too much or this or that when ultimately it's you? Whatever we do on the outside is really about what's going on the inside, So I try to start there. Like, what's the thing that I'm trying to scratch? What's the thing that I'm getting to? So it's intriguing to see how far we can go, with technology and with kind of this commerce of people excited about feeling like the best versions of themselves.
As we wrap this conversation up, when you zoom out onto the entirety of this project, you're talking about these initial phone calls with Ryan, scripts coming in, first day on set, shooting all of these episodes. When you sort of zoom out and look at this experience, what do you take away from the entirety of this process?
It is nice when you are working on a project where, the producers and directors, they have the freedom to, especially the showrunner, just has the freedom to do almost anything, and like, they put me in some really beautiful clothes, and I mean, they put us all in some really amazing
You had
stuff.
some good coats.
Yo, crazy, unbelievable.
What about for you?
I got to travel. I got to creatively do something I've never done before. I got to work with my boy, Ant.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to bring this to the world. I think Ryan has a hit on this one. I think this one's gonna make people think and start necessary conversation. It's entertaining in that way. I'm excited to see kind of the chatter and see how people receive the work.
I totally agree with you. I think it implicates the audience in a really exciting way. Well, thank you both for being here. It was such a pleasure, and continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
That's all for this time. On the next podcast, a conversation you won't want to miss. I'm talking to the incomparable Ashton Kutcher, who plays a big pharma billionaire. He not only bankrolls the beauty, he's also a regular user. You can check it out on Hulu, Hulu on Disney Plus, or YouTube. Watch the next episode of The Beauty on FX or stream on Hulu. And if you're a bundle subscriber, you can watch it on Hulu on Disney+. Lots of places to check out this hot new show. Be sure to rate, review, and follow The Beauty official podcast wherever you watch or listen. I'm Evan Ross Katz, and I'll see you next time.